Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and vibrant meadows, there lived a little girl named Ella. Ella was born into a family of modest means, her parents working tirelessly to provide for her. Despite the hardships, Ella's heart was filled with dreams as vast as the sky. From a young age, Ella showed an unwavering spirit. When she learned to walk, she stumbled and fell, but each time, she picked herself up with a determined giggle. As she grew, so did the challenges. School was a struggle. The lessons didn't come easily to her, and the other children often teased her for her slow pace. But Ella had a secret weapon, her indomitable will. Night after night, she sat under the dim light of a single lamp, poring over her books. Her parents watched with worry and pride as their daughter fought for every letter and number that didn't make sense. Years passed, and the little girl who once struggled to read began to win school competitions. Her essays moved hearts, and her solutions to math problems earned applause. Her parents, once anxious, now beamed with joy at their daughter's resilience. Ella's journey didn't stop at the school gates. She dreamt of becoming a doctor, a beacon of hope for her village. The path was fraught with obstacles, exams like towering mountains and fees like wide chasms. But Ella remembered the lessons of her childhood: fall down 7 times, stand up 8. With the support of her community and the tireless love of her parents, Ella's dream became a reality. Dr. Ella, they called her, the girl who healed with her hands and heart. Her parents, now old and gray, watched their daughter with eyes filled with tears, not of sorrow, but of overwhelming joy. Ella's story became a legend in the village, a tale of a little girl who never gave up, and parents whose faith never wavered. And in the warm glow of success, they all found that the greatest joy was not in the destination, but in the journey they walked together. And so, Ella's story is a testament to the power of perseverance, and a reminder that with courage and love, even the smallest of us can move mountains. Ella's story continued to unfold like a beautiful tapestry woven with threads of faith and hope. Her parents, simple and devout, had always placed their trust in a higher power. They believed that every hardship was a test of faith, and every blessing, a gift from above. In their small, cozy home, prayers were as regular as meals. They would gather around the old wooden table, hands clasped tightly, and thank God for the strength to face each day. They prayed not for riches or fame, but for the wisdom to appreciate the beauty in life's simplest moments. As Ella grew, so did her understanding of her parents' faith. She saw how their unwavering belief gave them peace amidst storms and light in the darkest of times. It was this faith that she carried with her through the toughest of her exams, the longest of her shifts, and the most challenging of her surgeries. When Dr. Ella opened a small clinic in the village, it was her parents' teachings that shaped her approach. She treated each patient with compassion, seeing them not just as cases, but as stories, as souls with hopes and fears. Her clinic became a place of healing, not just for the body, but for the spirit as well. The villagers often spoke of how God had lifted Ella and her family to new heights. But Ella's parents would humbly shake their heads and say, "It is not we who have been lifted, it is our hearts, our spirits, and our faith." And so, the family's life became a testament to their belief that with God, all things are possible. They found beauty in the laughter of their neighbors, the blooming of the flowers in their garden, and the joy of seeing their daughter touch lives. Ella and her parents knew that life's journey was never certain, but they trusted that they were never alone. Their faith was their compass, guiding them through life's ebbs and flows, and their love for each other was their anchor, holding them steady no matter the tide. In the end, the most beautiful thing they discovered was that their greatest blessings were the ones they could share with others: their time, their home, and their hearts. And in giving, they received; in lifting others, they too were lifted, in ways more profound than they could have ever imagined. Herb sparkles. Ella's family's faith had a profound impact on their fellow villagers. It was like a gentle but powerful wave that washed over the community, leaving behind a sense of unity and hope. Their home became a beacon of light in the village. The parents often invited neighbors over for dinner, where they shared not just food, but stories of perseverance and trust in God. These gatherings became a cherished tradition, where laughter and wisdom filled the air, and where the villagers felt a sense of belonging and comfort. The family's faith was also evident in their actions. Ella's parents were known for their acts of kindness, whether it was sharing their harvest from the garden or helping to mend a broken fence. They lived by the principle that faith without works is dead, and their deeds spoke volumes of their belief. Ella, inspired by her parents, incorporated her faith into her practice. She often started her day at the clinic with a moment of silence, offering her work as a service to the divine. This sense of purpose was palpable and inspired her patients to adopt a more hopeful outlook on life. The villagers began to emulate the family's faith and generosity. It wasn't long before the village was known not just for its scenic beauty, but for the spirit of its people. A spirit of resilience, of community, and of faith that could move mountains. As the years passed, the village transformed. Where there was once despair, there was now optimism. Where there was once isolation, there was now a community standing together. And all this change began with the unwavering faith of one little girl and her parents, who believed in the goodness of life and the power of God to lift them up. Their story became a legacy, a reminder that faith is not just a personal journey, but a collective one that can uplift an entire community. In every community, there are times when faith wavers, and the village was no exception. There were moments when the harshness of life, the unpredictability of seasons, and the trials of existence tested the villagers' faith. Some faced personal losses so deep that their belief in a benevolent force was shaken to its core. Yet, in these times of doubt, Ella's family extended their hands and hearts even wider. They understood that faith is not a constant, it is a flame that can flicker and dim. They didn't judge or dismiss the struggles of their neighbors. Instead, they offered a listening ear, a comforting word, and a shared silence when words fell short. Their home remained open, a sanctuary where one could find solace and companionship. Ella's mother would often say, "Faith is like the seasons, it has its spring and winter. But after every winter, comes the spring, and with it, new life and hope." Ella's father, a man of few words, would work alongside those who felt abandoned by their faith, helping them in their fields or with their livestock, embodying the belief that actions can speak louder than words. And Ella herself became a testament to the power of enduring faith. She shared her own story of perseverance, reminding the villagers that every challenge she faced was accompanied by a lesson, a strength gained, a moment of grace. Over time, those who had lost faith found it rekindled, not by grand gestures, but by the quiet, steadfast presence of a family who believed in the goodness of life, even when it was not readily apparent. The villagers learned that faith is not about never questioning or never feeling despair, it's about what one does with those questions and that despair. It's about holding on, even if by the thinnest thread, and finding the courage to believe in tomorrow. And so, the village's tapestry of faith became richer, woven with threads of doubt and restoration, showing that faith, like the human heart, is resilient, and with care and community, it can always find its way back home. There was a time when the faith of the villagers was profoundly deepened by an event that many would call miraculous. It happened one dry season when the rains did not come. The fields lay parched, and the villagers' stores dwindled. Despair crept into homes like an unwelcome shadow. Prayers for rain were lifted every day, but the sky remained clear, the sun relentless. Then, one evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a young boy from the village fell gravely ill. His fever rose, and no remedy seemed to help. Ella, with her medical knowledge, did all she could, but she knew that without fresh water, the boy's chances were slim. The village gathered in the small chapel, their voices rising in a chorus of pleas. Ella's parents led the vigil, their faith unwavering even as the night grew darker. And then, just as the first light of dawn appeared, a sound unfamiliar to the villagers' ears filled the air, the sound of rain. It started as a drizzle, then grew into a downpour. The villagers rushed outside, their faces turned upwards, tears mingling with raindrops. The boy's fever broke, and the village wells filled. The crops were saved, and the village was reborn. From that day on, the faith of the villagers was strengthened. They spoke of the night when their prayers were answered, when hope was restored by the gentle, life-giving touch of rain. It was a reminder that sometimes, faith is rewarded in ways that are beyond understanding. Ella's family's belief that there is a divine plan at work, that every prayer is heard, even if not always answered in the way one expects, was reinforced. And the villagers, who had witnessed the power of collective faith, found their own beliefs deepened, their spirits lifted, and their lives intertwined with a sense of gratitude and wonder. This event became a cornerstone of the village's history, a story passed down through generations, of a night when the heavens opened, and faith was not just a word, but a living, breathing presence in their lives. Cloud with rain folded hands. Ella's parents reacted to the miraculous event with profound gratitude and humility. They had always held a deep belief in the power of prayer and the grace of divine intervention, but witnessing such a direct answer to their collective pleas left them in awe. As the rain nourished the earth, they saw it as a sign of renewal, not just for the land but for the spirits of all who lived there. They gathered the villagers in the chapel, their hearts full, and led a service of thanksgiving. Their voices rose in hymns of praise, not loud or triumphant, but soft and reverent, a reflection of their inner peace and joy. They did not claim credit or boast of their own faith. Instead, they spoke of the strength of the community, of the love that bound them together, and of the hope that sustained them through the drought. They shared stories of past trials and how each had been overcome, not by their might, but through patience and trust. In the days that followed, Ella's parents continued to serve as pillars of the village, their actions speaking of their gratitude. They helped repair the damage the drought had caused, shared their harvest with those in need, and offered counsel to those who sought it. Their reaction was a testament to their character, grounded in the belief that every blessing should be met with a giving heart. And so, the miraculous event did not change who they were but deepened their commitment to living a life of faith, service, and love. The villagers would long remember the humility and grace of Ella's parents in the face of the miraculous, and many found their own faith enriched by the example set by this humble family. After the rain came and the young boy's fever broke, the villagers' hearts overflowed with gratitude. They expressed their thankfulness in a myriad of ways, each as unique and heartfelt as the next. The farmers, whose crops had been saved, gathered the first fruits of their labor and placed them at the altar of the village chapel, a symbol of the bounty they had been blessed with. They shared their harvest with everyone, ensuring that no table was without bread, no home without joy. The artisans crafted beautiful tokens of thanks, handmade trinkets, woven baskets, and painted stones, that they distributed among the children and elders. Each piece was a labor of love, a tangible reminder of the miracle they had witnessed. The musicians composed new songs, melodies that captured the rhythm of the falling rain and the harmony of a community united. They played late into the night, their music floating through the streets, a lullaby of hope for the future. The children danced in the puddles, their laughter a pure expression of joy. They made paper boats and set them afloat on the streams that now wound through the village, each boat carrying a wish, a dream, a prayer of thanks. And the elders, wise with the years, gathered to tell stories of past rains and blessings. They spoke of the cycles of life, of hardship and relief, and of the importance of holding on to faith through it all. As for Ella's parents, they received the villagers' gratitude with the same humility with which they had prayed for the rain. They knew that each gesture, each gift, each note of music was not just for them, but for the one they believed had sent the rain. In the end, the villagers' gratitude was not just an expression of thanks for the rain, but for the renewed sense of community and faith that had blossomed in its wake. It was a celebration of life's most precious gift, the gift of hope. Rainbow Herb. The villagers, filled with joy and relief after the rain, organized a grand feast to celebrate. It was a festivity that would be etched in the memory of the village for generations to come. The entire village came together to contribute to the feast. The farmers brought baskets of fresh vegetables and fruits, the bakers prepared loaves of bread and sweet pastries, and the butchers offered their best cuts of meat. Even the children helped, picking wildflowers and herbs to decorate the tables. The village square was transformed into a banquet hall under the open sky. Long tables were set up, and colorful lanterns were hung from the trees, swaying gently in the breeze. The air was filled with the aroma of delicious food and the sound of music. As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, the feast began. Ella's parents were given the place of honor at the head of the table. They led the villagers in a prayer of thanks, their voices sincere and full of emotion. The feast went on into the night. There was laughter and storytelling, dancing and singing. It was not just a celebration of the rain but of life itself, of community and togetherness. It was a moment of unity, where every villager felt the bond of shared experience and the joy of collective gratitude. Ella's parents looked on with contentment, knowing that this feast was a symbol of the village's resilience and their shared journey of faith. It was a testament to the belief that after every hardship comes a time of joy, a time to gather and give thanks for the blessings of life. Glowing star fork and knife with plate. To preserve the memory of the miraculous rain and the feast that followed, the villagers took several heartfelt steps to ensure that future generations would remember and learn from this pivotal moment in their history. The elders of the village, who had long served as the keepers of history, began to weave the story into the tapestry of tales they passed down. Around firesides and during communal gatherings, they recounted the tale with vivid detail, ensuring that the children grew up knowing the story by heart. Ella, with her education, took it upon herself to document the events. She wrote a detailed account, which was then placed in the village archives. This written record served as a permanent testament to the power of faith and community. The villagers established an annual day of celebration to commemorate the rain. Each year, on the anniversary of the miraculous event, the village would come together to share food, stories, and prayers, just as they had on that first joyous occasion. Monument. A small monument was erected in the village square, a simple stone structure engraved with the date of the rain and a few words about the power of unity and faith. It stood as a silent reminder of the event that had so deeply impacted their lives. Art and music. Local artists created paintings and sculptures inspired by the rain, while musicians composed songs that told the story. These works of art were displayed and performed at the village's communal spaces, echoing the memory through beauty and melody. Through these actions, the memory of the rain became more than just a story. It became a part of the village's identity, a chapter in their collective legacy that would inspire hope and faith for many years to come.